Well, thank you all for joining us. My name is Steven Alaman. I work for Fourth, and this webinar is brought to you on behalf of Enrolled People's Utility District. So let's dive straight into it. All right, so a little bit of background about Fourth and who we are. So Fourth is a nonprofit trade association. We advocate for really 4 different main areas of electric, shared, and smart mobility. Those 4 areas are industry development, policy advocacy. So advocating for more charging infrastructure to be put in, or DCF fast charging stations put in on highways and things like that. Demonstration projects, and consumer engagement. All right, so we're just going to do a quick overview of what the differences are between a conventional hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and a pure electric or battery electric vehicle. So first of all, when you think of a hybrid electric vehicle, many people have told me that I've driven in an electric vehicle before. I've been in a Prius. And so the best way that we can really discern in the industry whether or not you're driving a plug-in hybrid or BEV is essentially, can you plug it in? If it's a conventional hybrid, you're still going to have to go to the pump. You're still going to have to just use gas the way you would for any other internal combustion vehicle. But for a plug-in hybrid, you should be able to plug into just a level 2 charging station. Some of them even have DCF fast charging as well. So yeah, examples of plug-in hybrids are like the Chevy Volt, Honda Clarity, which you don't see that much anymore, or the Chrysler Pacifica, which is a full-on van. Examples of ones that can fast charge are the Mitsubishi Outlander, and I believe the RAV4 Prime, made by Toyota. And then an example of a battery electric vehicle, so pure electric. The most common is a Tesla. All models of Tesla are 100% electric. Most people have seen the Model 3 on the road. A Chevy Bolt is also a pure electric vehicle, and a Nissan Leaf. So those are probably the most common pure electric vehicles you'll see. Just to further break that down a little bit more, as you can see, the conventional hybrid that is featured on the left is a Prius, and that is filling up at the gas tank. And then the plug-in hybrid, Mitsubishi Outlander, which has a 12 kilowatt hour battery, is charging in someone's garage. Now, this can get a little bit confusing because Priuses do have some of the same capabilities as a normal electric car. They do use regenerative braking and things like that, but just a different style. Essentially, regenerative braking is when a electric vehicle or plug-in hybrid spins the motor backward to reclaim some of that energy and actually recharge that battery, making the vehicle more efficient. Another thing I will note is that there are plug-in hybrid Toyota Priuses, but the one that's featured here on the left side is an older model and is not a plug-in hybrid. The only plug-in hybrid Prius is the Prius Prime. All right, so more about electric vehicles. So as you can see, the Tesla Model 3 is 100% electric. You can't put gas in it. Some other examples of pure electrics, as I mentioned, the Chevy Bolt, Volkswagen e-Golf, which is a really cool car that you can get used, BMW i3, all the Tesla models, and the Hyundai Kona EV. And there's a lot more models coming nowadays too. Now there are trucks. The electric Ford F-150 Lightning is coming out, and the Rivian R1T, and then they're also making that SUV version. So they'll have 2 very large full electric vehicles, which is really exciting. And then plug-in hybrids. Really the benefit of a plug-in hybrid is so you can do all of your around town driving on electric. And then if you want to go on a road trip or something that, typically you don't see as many EV charging stations, if you're going to like Montana or something, these can be really great vehicles to give you that peace of mind to be able to do both. But plug-in hybrids, yeah, for the most part, their ranges are fairly limited on the EV side. I think the longest range plug-in hybrid currently is somewhere in the 40s or 50s as far as how far it can go on just one charge. But like I said earlier, it's designed to just do all that around town driving, and most people don't drive more than 50 miles just around town. Um, but yeah, some of them are smaller, some are larger. It depends on what your needs are. Um, the one maybe drawback of a plug-in hybrid is the fact that you now have an internal combustion engine, and you also have all the components of a pure electric EV inside that one vehicle. So you potentially have more maintenance on a plug-in hybrid, which compared to a pure electric or BEV battery electric vehicle, there is far less maintenance. There's 75% less moving parts in a pure electric vehicle. So there's just a lot less that can go wrong. Maintenance is pretty much just adding windshield wiper fluid, cleaning the windshield wipers, and rotating the tires, compared to internal combustion engines, which require changing the oil, all that good stuff that we've grown up doing in our gas guzzling cars. All right. So just a quick overview about electric vehicle charging and what we mean when we talk about, the three different levels: level 1 charging, level 2 charging, and as I've mentioned a couple times, DCF fast charging. So when it comes to level 1 charging, these are the chargers that will likely just come with the vehicle when you purchase it. I tell most people that they should view these as kind of supplemental chargers, things that can help you along the way. If you're going on a road trip and you need to stop at a friend's place, but they don't have a level 2 charger installed in their house, these just plug into a 110 or 120 volt outlet. So just your standard regular plug. And they don't charge very fast, but they charge anywhere from 3 to 5 miles per hour. Typically, it's close to that 5 miles per hour. And when I say 5 miles, it's how much range you'll get each hour of charging. So, overnight, if you were to charge for, let's say, 8 hours, you'd have about 40 miles of range by the time you woke up in the morning. It works pretty well for people that have plug-in hybrids because you don't have that much battery capacity. So if you don't do a ton of driving, you make sure you're really consistent about plugging in every night. Um, that's okay. That can work out just fine. Okay, hang on. I need to pause the share for just a moment and let someone in. All right. Awesome. All right. Hopefully Becky got in. All right. Sorry for that pause, everyone. Okay, so that's level 1 charging. And let's talk about level 2 charging. All right. So level 2 chargers, these are the types of chargers you'd have installed at a workplace or at your home. I recommend these chargers for, honestly, most people. If you have a plug-in hybrid or a pure battery electric vehicle and you do a good amount of driving, then I think it makes sense to have one in your own home if you have the availability for it. So they can charge anywhere from 12 to 50 miles per hour of charging. Typically, I mean, that's quite a range. Typically, you see it closer to the 25, 30 miles per hour of charge. And these chargers can pretty much be put anywhere where you have a 220 or 240 volt outlet, which is the same as the port you use for your dryer plug. And they use the same port to plug into your vehicle as the level 1 chargers, which is J1774 or something like that. I may have messed up some of the numbers there, so don't quote me exactly on that. But yeah, these chargers can be really smart. Essentially, you can have them hooked up to your phone where they can tell you, how your vehicle is doing. It's like how much, how close it is to being fully charged. And some of these chargers you can even program to do some really cool stuff, like only charge, during certain hours at night when you know that generally the electricity is more available at that time, or potentially at a cheaper rate. All right. So level 3 or DCF fast charging. These are the chargers that most people use to kind of get whenever they stop on a road trip or whenever they're going on a long distance commute of some kind. Um, some people do regularly stop and charge at them. If you don't have if you can't put a level 2 charger in your own home, that can be a really good way of essentially just stopping by and refueling. Um, and many TNC or shared network drivers, such as Uber and Lyft, use DCF fast chargers constantly. They may use it 3 times, 4 times a day. But anyway, so these chargers can charge much, much faster. Depending on the battery capacity in your car, it typically doesn't take more than 45 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes to get all the way from 0 or 20% up to 80 or 100%. Once again, it depends on your battery capacity. But yeah, these are excellent chargers to essentially plan to stop at if you're on a road trip, and then maybe go out to dinner and then come back, or grab a quick lunch and then come back, and your car should be ready to go. So there are 3 different types of plugs that go into the vehicle from DCF fast chargers, and pretty much all of these charging stations have at least 2 of these plugs available each one. Tesla has their own stations; they've got their own network, so they're a little bit they're doing their own thing when it comes to DCF fast chargers. But the 2 ports that you'll see at most fast charging stations are CCS, which is the American European standard, or CHAdeMO, which is the Japanese standard. That's used for Mitsubishi and Nissan. In the US, it's slowly looking like most of these charging stations are going to end up using the CCS American European standard. Some vehicles in the UK, or some Teslas in the UK, actually all Teslas in the UK actually use the CCS American European standard, which is pretty cool. But in the US, if you have a Tesla, you can actually use the CHAdeMO stations to fast charge if you have a converter for that. All right. So let's talk about some of the really cool things that Emerald People's Utility District is doing, and just talk about, their recent investments in the charging infrastructure and some of their cool programs. So recently, EPUD has essentially, they've installed these level 2 chargers, which, as I've talked about, these are these chargers right here, most commonly seen at the workplace. I believe these chargers will get anywhere from 25 to 50 miles of range per hour of charging. Looks about 25 for these SemaConnect chargers. And they're installing them at these schools. They've already been installed at Pleasant Hill, Cottage Grove, Elmira High School, and there will be an additional one installed at Mohawk High School in the near future. All right. As I mentioned, these are SemaConnect chargers. The cool thing about that is if you plan to use these chargers, you can sign up for this membership program. That being said, you also have to be a EPUD customer. But if you are an EPUD customer and you plan to regularly charge at these stations, you can join this program for $10 a month for unlimited charging, which is a really great deal. And it could give you a lot of peace of mind. If you're not able to put a level 2 charger in your own home, but you really, you want to have an EV or already have one, this is the perfect way of doing this. There's actually a study that came out and it said that employees that have access to charging at work are 20 times more likely to purchase electric vehicles. So that's pretty amazing. And it really shows you that having chargers at work can really make your commute a lot easier on the EV driver, and also build up consumer confidence, which is great. All right, so let's figure out how you can join this program. First off, you're going to need to download the SemaConnect app, because that's who the charging stations are made by. So once you have created that account, kind of gone through the steps of putting in a payment system or payment plan or anything like that, you won't actually be charged on that account unless you regularly do one-off charges, but you'll still need to set up your account. Yeah, and so once that's all set up, we'll show you how to actually get signed up for the unlimited charging for $10 a month. All right, before I go into how to sign up for the membership, if you would like to just charge at these stations at the high schools and just use them every once in a while without joining the membership program, you'll be able to charge by essentially just calling SemaConnect or going through the app. But the easiest way to do it if you don't want to download the app is to just call this number here and press 9. That'll get you directly to how to put your payment information in to get a one-time code to start the charging. If you do it that way, the stations will cost 50 cents per hour of charging. Each hour of charging is equal to about 25 miles. So if you plan to use these stations regularly, I would definitely encourage you to join the membership program because it's going to be a lot cheaper. Oh, and members will see their monthly bill of $10 appear on their EPUD bill. It's nice and convenient. All right, so once you've signed up for the SemaConnect app, and so this is just how to create your account here, you'll go find the charging stations that you're wanting to use. I've pulled up the Cottage Grove High School charging station, and you can just locate it on the app. There'll be a little map. You can also search whichever works best for you. You'll click on that actual charging station right here, just like that. And then it'll bring you into give you more information about one, how to find the charger, the exact location of where it is. And just so you know, you can also use the SemaConnect app to find chargers on the go if you're not in an area that you're familiar with and you need to charge. How to get directions there, and it'll tell you how many plugs are there and how many plugs are up and running. So it looks like 6 of 6 are available. If you scroll down on the same details page, you'll get down to here. So as you can see, this is the location details. So we just went down just a little bit. And in the notes, there'll be some more information about how to join the program. But all you need to do, because we've already talked about all the information here, is to just click request access to charge here. And then once you've done that, you'll get accepted by the program, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, and so here's some other incentives that are out there as well. You'll receive, or some other EPUD incentives that are out there. You receive $100 for registering your EV with EPUD. So if you already have an EV and you haven't registered it, definitely do that. If you're planning to get one in the future, keep this in mind and definitely remember to do that because that's $100 is great. And you can also get up to $700, $500, or $750, or up to 50% of the installed cost of a Energy Star rated level 2 charger. And Energy Star rated chargers are essentially just the best of the best. So you may as well get one, or get the top tier one if you're planning to invest in a charger that EPUD's going to help you pay for. So if you're looking to how to find which chargers are rated for or have that Energy Star rating, there's a list right here. Feel free to just follow that link. I can share these slides with everyone afterward. Yeah, or reach out to me if you have any questions about how to find that information, or if you have a specific charger you're looking at, but you're not sure if it qualifies, you can refer to that list or reach out to me and I can check for you. If you have any more questions, definitely reach out to EPUD. There's their website right here. And then you can also reach them at this number over here. All right. So there's also some other financial savings that are worth mentioning on EVs. There's a federal tax credit that is up to $7,500 off the purchase or lease of a new EV. So because it's a tax credit, that means that essentially you'll get $7,500 off your taxes if you owe that much. There's different ways of kind of finagling it to make sure you get the most bang for your buck out of this. If you're retired, you can always withdraw more, and that will allow you to get that, take full advantage of that tax credit. And then there's also some rebates specific to Oregon. So the standard rebate in Oregon is $2,500 off the purchase of a new or leased EV. And the charge ahead rebate is also $2,500 off, but it applies to both purchase of a new EV or a used EV. Yeah. And one other thing that I would like to note, I got to jump back actually to the federal tax credit. This list right here, you can check which brands of vehicles are eligible for the full tax credit. Yeah, okay, you are seeing my mouse, great. I'll just mention that Chevy and Tesla are no longer eligible because they've sold over 200,000 vehicles in the US. And so that's the reason for that. And I'm not sure if those will be increased or bump back up in the future. No real word on that as far as this current administration goes. But for now, that's the best way to check if you're looking at EVs that are available. Automakers that do have the full $7,500 off are Ford, Mitsubishi, and yeah, pretty much everyone besides Tesla and Chevy. Awesome. So you can actually, getting back to the standard and charge ahead rebate, you can actually combine both of those rebates in Oregon, which would save you a total of $5,000 off the purchase of a new or lease of an EV. But if you're getting a used vehicle, you can only get the charge ahead, which is $2,500 off. That being said, charge ahead rebate is income qualified. You can check if you qualify here, and you can also check to see if your vehicles or if the vehicle you're interested in will qualify for these rebates. The only thing that the only cutoff for vehicles to qualify for this is that their MSRP is below $50,000. So you can't get like a Jaguar I-Pace or the new Porsche EV. But most EVs do qualify because most of them have that MSRP of under 50,000. And I would encourage most people to apply to the charge ahead rebate. Even if you're not sure if you qualify. It's 120% of your it's 120% of the statistical median income of your metropolitan area. So they take I think in Portland, it ends up being like $66,000 a year is the threshold. So for most places, I think it's worth applying. In Eugene, I'm not sure what it is, but if you are not sure if you qualify, you can reach out to me and I can give you all the resources to check yourself. So this is just a quick list. Like I said, this will be attached, so no need to pay too close of attention to it. But this is the list of all the vehicles that qualify for the Oregon clean vehicle rebate. And so basically they just have to be under $50,000. As you can see, some of them are $15,000 as far as the rebate you get versus the $2,500. Or sorry, not 15. It's $1,500 versus $2,500. So the difference there is actually in battery size. If the vehicle has under 10 kilowatt hours has under a 10 kilowatt hour battery, then the incentive is cut by $1,000, and it's only a $1,500 incentive. The idea behind this is just because they want more money going to pure EVs rather than plug-in hybrids. Or if they have a plug-in hybrid with a large enough battery that they expect most of your miles to be electric on, then you'll get the full rebate. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining me. As I said before, my name's Steven Alaman. You can reach me at Steven A@fourthmobility.org. You can also use this EPUD website to find out more about this program. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can make sure to connect you to the correct source.